Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here today to talk about the New South Wales Critical Minerals and High-Tech Metals Strategy, which was released 12 months ago, and there's some great progress that's happening and a great vibe about investment for projects in New South Wales. So the strategy aims to position New South Wales as a leader in critical minerals and high-tech metals, both as a secure and sustainable supplier of the minerals, but also to support the supply chain for processing. New South Wales has competitive advantages in human capital, innovation and resources, and we're very keen to work closely with international partners to grow the sector in New South Wales. Of course, it all starts with the geology. Excuse me. In New South Wales, we rank 1 in Australia for our supplies of scandium and niobium, with 74% of Australia's economic demonstrated resource of scandium and 63% of Australia's niobium. We also have the highest concentration of scandium globally. New South Wales ranks 2nd in Australia for copper, molybdenum and silver. And we also have an abundance of other critical, precious and base metals, such as cobalt, gold, nickel, lead and zinc. And this is, of course, on the back of a very well-established mineral sector in New South Wales, starting with coal, but we're also a very significant producer of gold and copper. In New South Wales, we have 21 of the 31 critical minerals identified on the Commonwealth's critical minerals list. Our Geological Survey of New South Wales gives us really detailed information around the resources available and the resource potential in New South Wales, and we split our geological regions into 4 broad areas. So in Broken Hill, very familiar to many of you in the west of the state, we have several minerals there and quite an established mining industry. We have rare earth elements, titanium and zirconium in the Murray Basin, south of Broken Hill. We have antimony, cobalt and scandium in the New England fold belt. A lot of interest in antimony up in New England at the moment. We have scandium, cobalt, nickel and other minerals in the central Lachlan Fold belt of New South Wales, and that's really our highest area of exploration interest. A lot of activity happening in that part of the state and where we have some significant larger mines as well. Our critical minerals strategy talks about a targeted approach to our priority metals where we believe we have a competitive advantage. We identify as part of that a number of minerals where we see huge potential. One of those is rare earth elements, very topical today after the announcement overnight. And we are a key source for light rare earth elements as well as heavy rare earth elements, which of course are essential for magnet production. Scandium I mentioned earlier. We lead in the scandium resource and we have a number of really well-developed scandium projects, some looking for investment. Cobalt, we have globally significant resources of cobalt as well, again with some advanced projects, and also copper, some large existing projects and a lot of exploration occurring for copper in New South Wales too. I shouldn't forget silver. Just moved on, but silver, we also have a lot of opportunity for silver in New South Wales too. Our critical minerals strategy identifies several strategic pillars, and I'm going to touch on each of these in the following slides to talk about what our intention is, but importantly the work that we've been doing over the last 12 months since the strategy was released to try and attract investment and grow the sector in New South Wales. You can see there it's right through the supply chain, starting with exploration, incentivising production, following through to the supply chains. Skills is a really important focus for this government and importantly engaging communities throughout the process. So if we start with encouraging exploration, or incentivising production, I should say, we'll start with that one. The strategy and the government committed to implementing a royalty deferral scheme for new critical minerals projects. That project and that initiative has now commenced on the 1st of July this year, which is up to $250 million in a royalty deferral scheme available for 5 years up until 2030. This initiative is really to support capital investment into our projects and help them move from that exploration phase through to production. We're getting a fair bit of interest in that. Nobody signed up just yet, but we are in active discussions with several companies. We're also working really closely and collaborating with the Australian Minerals Group and work closely with the Commonwealth on Commonwealth and global events like IMARC happening here this week, but also internationally to promote the projects that we have available in New South Wales, really try and attract that investment and interest in those projects. If we now move to exploration, I mentioned the Geological Survey of New South Wales before. They are continually providing pre-competitive data to support knowledge and grow understanding of the mineral resource in New South Wales. We have a targeted data acquisition program looking at depth, and today the government has announced a new grants program where we are funding 29 projects to support exploration, where we're co-funding exploration into geology, but also geophysics as well. And interestingly, 21 of those 29 successful projects are targeting copper. Those projects will commence in coming months, and it's just another initiative that the government has committed to through our strategy. We've got a lot of work happening in seismic acquisition as well, and focusing on the areas that are not as explored as some of the others. So at the moment, we've got a bit of a focus on the New England area and a seismic survey happening in that part of the state. When it comes to supply chains, the strategy committed to, and we've been following through on an arrangement with ANSTO to investigate the opportunities for a common user processing facility for rare earths in New South Wales. We are supporting investment in domestic manufacturing as well. It's helpful that our Minister for Natural Resources is also our Minister for Domestic Manufacturing and Procurement. And we are looking at partnering with universities around the opportunities for recycling metals and processing opportunities as well. Our Geological Survey did a study which was released earlier this year, the Mine Reuse Project. They collected a large number of samples from 28 mine sites, some operating and some older legacy mine sites as well. That data is released and has generated a fair bit of interest as well. What we are seeing is quite a lot of interest in New South Wales to reinvigorate mines that were previously operating and then have not operated for some time, and we're seeing a lot of interest in new exploration in those areas as well. But the Mine Reuse Project is something that we hope will generate a lot more interest. I mentioned skills. The strategy commits to a New South Wales skills plan, and we've been progressing that just recently through a survey of industry and universities and other education providers to really understand what the barriers are and the opportunities for growing a great skills base in New South Wales. The survey went out to 500 stakeholders, and we're just starting to get some results coming through for that. 52% of the survey respondents anticipated that their workforce will expand to 50 to 200 employees over the next 10 years. This is focused on critical minerals and high-tech metals. And this is really significant when you consider that 69% currently only have between 1 to 19 employees. So we are expecting significant growth. The survey results also showed that the sector needs a diversity of roles moving forward, and that engineers, trades, technicians, truck drivers, IT specialists, the full range of roles are going to be important. And so the government, our government, is really looking to make sure that we can provide those skills. In New South Wales, our geological resources and our mines are located quite close to communities. We're very proud of that. We have workforces on hand for local employee, which is great for regional economies, different to some other parts of the world where it's largely a fly-in, fly-out culture. And so part of our work on skills is looking at how we can make sure the right skills are available in local communities. And engaging communities. In New South Wales, again, because of the close proximity of our communities to our mines, there is a high level of interest in the activities that are happening at mine sites, and we have a focus to really grow transparency and awareness around exploration activities, but also the rehabilitation that occurs during and following a mine. So we have progressive rehabilitation. A lot of the focus on rehabilitation is on coal at the moment, but we are the understanding of local communities about the mining process and the strong regulatory framework that we have is, I think, really important for that social licence. We do publish and make transparent as much of our regulator activity, a lot of our regulator activity, but also our approvals. So we make it very clear when we're approving new exploration activity for mining. And we're very proud of our rehabilitation portal. You can check it out on our website. It's actually fantastic to be able to see how rehabilitation is occurring over time. And that, again, supports understanding and social licence for the sector. I mentioned before about the number of projects moving into production. We have quite a few, as I said, that are coming from previously old mines that have been care and maintenance, sometimes for decades. We have 53 large active mines in New South Wales. 15 of those are major metal mines, and then we have large numbers of smaller quarries, of course, as well. But over the past 18 months, we've had some new operations commence. So Federation Mine, which is mining zinc, lead, gold, copper and silver out near Cobar, that commenced in about 12 months ago, September last year. And we also have other mines coming into production that were previously mining, such as the Woodlawn Mine out at Goulburn, the Challenger Mine, the Endeavour Mine also out at Cobar, and Reward. We've got a lot of interest in this at the moment, and there's a real great energy in New South Wales about investing here, particularly when you've got old mines that have some of the infrastructure connections already in place, and when you do more exploration and realise that some of what was found originally wasn't necessarily the best resource available, and right at those deposits there's great opportunities for new development and economic opportunities for new projects. We have coming up the Balranald project out in the Murray Basin area that's expected to come online in coming months. The Hillgrove mine is in the news today. They are actively ramping up through construction to start operating shortly, and we also have the Wanna-Winter mine, which is another restart. So really this signals a very strong support for the sector in New South Wales. And for anyone who was around this morning, if you heard our Premier and our Minister for Natural Resources, the message was very, very strong that this government is supporting investment and supporting the mining sector in New South Wales. We have a large number of projects in the pipeline as well. 120 exploration licences were granted in the last financial year. That's new exploration licences. Most of those were for metals-related exploration. We also have 28% of the state currently covered in exploration licences where exploration is actively occurring. This, of course, means that there's other areas that are untapped, including at depth, which our geological survey is focusing on, but also in some parts of the state where we believe, and our geological survey believes, there is mineral wealth to be found. And just some data on exploration expenditure. This mirrors largely what's been happening internationally, but you can see that we have had a decade of substantial growth in exploration expenditure in New South Wales, and it's really led by mineral sands, which takes up 25% of the expenditure in the last financial year, but also strong expenditure in exploration in rare earth elements, gold, copper, silver, lead and zinc. We've seen an upward trend also in the number of titles, and I think we have a strong approach, the use it or lose it approach. If you're not actively exploring, you'll need to reduce your area of title. We want to see companies that have titles and have land in New South Wales exploring and hopefully moving into production. Just finally, to finish off, the New South Wales Government has support to help companies navigate the various approvals that are needed in New South Wales. The government is supportive of and looking at reforms to the planning system, but we also have people that are available here. I'd encourage you to visit our New South Wales Government booth out on the floor. We have people there to provide any information that you need on the resource potential in New South Wales, but also to support you with any connections that you need to make in the New South Wales Government. Thank you very much. I look forward to hearing the other presentations, and I hope you have a great week at IMARC.